In a business, you cannot sell a secret. We have to show up and we have to sell that product or service that we have. But so many people don't want to. They don't want to be the face of the business. They want to hide behind their brand or their logo, and they just want to create advertising and then keep wondering why it's not working.
We have good news. We have some really, really good news today.
There's a way to do it that does not feel salesy, that does not feel cringy, that does not make you feel as if you're out there putting on this fake show just to attract people.
Shall we tell them the secret or shall we wait a bit?
So, does sales and marketing still feel cringy to you? Well, I hate to break it to you, you're probably doing it wrong.
Oh my goodness. I have heard so many times, I don't like sales. I don't like sales.
Yep. It's the one thing most people try to avoid, but in a business, you cannot sell a secret. So, unfortunately, we have to show up. We have to show up and we have to sell that product or service that we have. But so many people don't want to. They don't want to be the face of the business. They want to hide behind their brand or their logo, and they just want to create advertising and then keep wondering why it's not working.
We have good news. We have some really, really good news today.
Yep. You have to show up. It has to be you. Oh, maybe is that good news for some people? I'm not sure if it's good news for everybody. But there's a way to do it that does not feel salesy, that does not feel cringy, that does not make you feel as if you're out there putting on this fake show just to attract people.
Yeah. Shall we tell them the secret or shall we wait a bit?
No, let's get right into this episode, Vicki. It is so important to have these conversations because we often get so stuck in these spaces of circling around and knowing what you have to do and not wanting to do it, and then passing it off to somebody else, a marketing team, a freelancer, somebody to just create some ads for you and hope that it works. But in this incredibly noisy marketplace, especially on social media, it is harder and harder to get noticed. And people are really good at ignoring ads. So you're throwing hundreds, thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars into your marketing budget, but it's not showing real results. What is working for people is showing up authentically. And here's the thing, telling stories. So, why does storytelling work?
Mm. Storytelling is so powerful because we're sharing a part of us. We're sharing a little piece of us and our experience with our audience. We're showing them under the cover or behind the curtain. And it's not contrived, it's the real deal. And when we can be authentic with that and really, now we talked about cringing in selling. There might be a bit of a cringe factor in showing up authentically. And maybe that's something we want to talk about today. How to do this and not have the cringe factor and to feel like you own it and you're happy to show some parts of you that you may have otherwise thought were proper to keep it covered.
Because we've mentioned before, and we'll say again, that girls are taught to be perfect and boys are taught to be brave. And this needs to change. Like, we have to be brave too. As women, we have to bravely step into those things that might feel uncomfortable, like stepping on a stage, whatever that stage might be for you, and showing up authentically and sharing something about ourselves. Because when we can share those vulnerable things, those stories of transformation that we felt, those reasons why we started the business, those things that have happened in our life that connects to why we're doing what we're doing now, then people connect to us, and connection builds relationships, and relationships build sales. Relationship based selling is one of the best ways to sell that does not feel salesy or cringy, because it's just about connecting your product or service with the exact right market that needs your product or service. It's that bridge. That's what marketing is the bridge between you and your clients. So let's create marketing that doesn't feel awful.
Yes,
Doesn't
please.
feel right. And
And
it's not
who wants to
easy.
see more of that in the marketplace? Who wants to see more authentic posts, real posts, not all written by GPT, please,
Yeah.
on socials. I mean, let's face it, when you see something that's authentic, it catches your eye. And when you see something that looks like everybody else, you keep scrolling. So, which one would you rather be producing? What kind of content would you rather be sharing? Yeah.
Yeah.
And you talked about being authentic and trust and relationship, and these are all key words. And vulnerability. Vulnerability is like this big bad beast that nobody wants to feel vulnerable. Why is that? Is it because we will be embarrassed, we'll be humiliated, there's a sense of shame, or there's all kinds of other emotions?
Yes.
Of course, that's how. Oh, do you know what I think it is? I think this is connected to perfectionism.
Oh, 100% agree. I've definitely been there. I relate to that so much. The amount of times I've created a video on my phone to share online and deleted it 15 times because I hated it so much. And by the 16th one, I'm like, okay, fine, just let it go. I can't do it anymore. Just let it go. Yeah, perfectionism had me in a chokehold. Absolutely. It's so relatable. It's so normal. And I think most people, instead of going through 15 versions, just don't start at all. Never even just do version one. And here's the thing, like the truth is version one is going to suck. Version one is going to be hard. You're going to trip over your words. You're going to not be great. But by the time you get to version 16, you're going to be so much better. And if you do that repeatedly, 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 even when it's cringy, even when it feels uncomfortable, even when that imposter syndrome is on your back shoulder yelling at you, you're not good enough, even when you have all things, but you do it anyway, it's sort of that feel the fear, do it anyway. That's when you actually start to get good at something.
Yes, because we know that courage only comes from taking action. We don't sit around and wait to feel courageous. It just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. There is no courage without action. They go hand in hand. And there is no improvement without action, without practice. And there
Right.
is no perfection without clunkiness,
Right.
if there's perfection at all, which I'd argue there isn't. But if we're
Yeah.
going to chase for perfection, we got to be clunky first,
Yes,
messy.
and even telling stories, right? Well, the first time you tell a story, you're kind of remembering pieces of facts and you kind of end up putting things together in the wrong order and you kind of even get mad at yourself. I'm speaking from personal experience here. Like the first time you try to tell a story, it's going to be clunky. It's not going to come out clean and clear and smooth and precise. And you're probably going to put in too much information. But it's only in retelling that story over and over that you start to refine it for yourself, for your audience. And then you get better and better at telling it because you start to get better and better reactions. And that's how you know it's getting good, right? So when you start telling that story, tell that story to your friends, your family, your kids. Tell it to anybody who'll listen. And then keep repeating it to different audiences. And then as you start to build your personal brand and your personal profile, then you have great stories that have been refined over time to tell on a podcast or on a stage or write in a chapter of a book, whatever that is for you that you want to show up as. But as we're looking into building our personal brand, because we know how valuable that is, we have to tell stories to build a personal brand. You can't build a personal brand just by polishing up your LinkedIn. It takes so much more than that. We have to show up and tell stories and tell things about ourselves so that people engage with us and connect with us. You can get on stage and talk about a topic, but when people talk about something real and vulnerable, it changes the connection with the audience in a different level. You've said this so many times, Vicki, and it's one of the things that really resonates with me is, people don't remember what you told them. They remember how you make them feel, right? We connect through emotion. We remember things through emotion, which is why storytelling works. Because when you're telling a story that has emotion embedded in it, it is so memorable and therefore what? Shareable, right? It's when you're telling a great story online, people want to share it, they want to forward it, they want to save it, they want to repost it, they want to maybe retell it too.
Hmm.
That is magnetic marketing. You're not pushing stuff out, you're pulling people in. That is such a shift. Such a shift.
And that is why sharing stories attracts your clients naturally because they see themselves in that story.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we all want to do business with people we like and we want to trust them. And how else do we trust a person? Think about it at a friendship level. When you meet somebody new and you feel like, oh, there's something there, I'd really like to hang out with that person more. What is it that leads to that? Yes, it might be common interests. It might be that you are both, going for the same goals or whatever that common thing is. And it's more, isn't it? It's values alignment. It's seeing yourself in them and feeling that rapport where you get this feeling that they see themselves in you too. There's this two-way little love fest that happens where you see something in the other person that you are inspired by, or perhaps you aspire to be a little bit more like them in certain ways, and they back to you. And the same thing is true when we're attracting our clients, regardless of your industry. When you're the face of your brand, people are connecting to that, to you, to what you stand for, your values, your beliefs,
Hmm.
the things that you love, the things that you stand against. And if they
Yes.
stand against those things too, they're with you. And then you become inseparable in life and in business. It works the same. I have this beautiful story of a woman who I was working with many, many moons ago. And she was a service provider to the business that I was working in. And I had no idea that she'd had a cancer journey. And so she came and she was doing some training. And in the break, I went out and I think I went to buy some coffees and I came back and I found her under the table of the training room. And everyone in the training room had gone for lunch. So she knew she had some time. And she was taking a 20-minute nap in the middle of the day in a training that she was being paid top dollar for. And, this was a long time back before authenticity was even a word that was used in corporate spaces. And I will always remember this event or this story because she shared with me there and then that she needs to take a 20-minute nap. And she hadn't shared that beforehand. There was no apology to it. It was just, of course, there was no need to apologize. The point I'm making is that she just showed up as her. She knew what she needed. She was taking good care of her own needs when it was appropriate to do so. And then when she shared with me that she was on a cancer journey, can you only imagine what that did to our relationship? My
Mm.
heart opened. I related. I haven't been in a cancer journey gratefully, but my heart opened to someone who was willing to share something so deeply personal in that
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah. And it makes you so memorable. And like you said, it builds such a depth of connection that many years later, you still remember and you probably still follow and you probably have kept up and if you saw each other again, you would have that connection. It builds and grows. So, when we need to build a business, most of us don't need hundreds of thousands of clients or customers. Most of us are building businesses that we only need maybe 10 or a dozen regular clients to have a very successful business. So why are we focusing on trying to, spray out as much as possible versus just being a little more targeted to magnetically just attract those exact right people into our circle by just being real and vulnerable and listening and telling stories and sharing ways that we can then connect. So it doesn't have to be this big thing. I don't think everybody needs to do mass marketing. In fact, I think most people don't. Most people only need to do a small amount to reach just the right people. And there's people that judge people with, small accounts on social media. And oh, you've only got 500 followers. Imagine standing in front of a room of 500 people and speaking to them. Most people would never want to do that, right? But even those small amounts, you may just need 5 of those people who are following you to become a client to have a successful business. So why aren't we showing up? Why aren't we taking the chance? Why aren't we getting on podcasts? Why aren't we just trying to tell our stories so that we help bring people in on the mission that we're on? Those of us who are growing missions, and we have a mission for more women to be out there, to be speaking, to be sharing, to be growing, to be building businesses that change others' lives because of the business that they're in, either in how they help others or the business they build for their own employees and then, scale up. We want those women to be able to get out there on those stages so that they can share, so that we can show more of the world what women are about and why we need to build better businesses for the betterment of our entire society. Because where I'm feeling right now, we need more of that. We have a lot of male voices saying a lot of negative things towards women. How do we shift the conversation in just our own worlds? So, sharing that mission is an important story to tell. Why are you doing what you're doing? Why did you start your business? What is it that you see needs to change? What are you trying to do in the world? What is important to you? What matters? Why do you care? And then I, as your listener, as your audience member, go, yeah, I agree with you. Therefore, I want to follow you. Therefore, I want to work with you, buy from you, share your stuff, be an brand ambassador for you, whatever that connection ends up being. It's how we get connected. And it doesn't matter where you are. Vicki, you're in Australia, I'm in Bermuda, and we're connected to people on both sides of the planet and loads of people in between, just because we have this platform to share on, which is incredible.
Mm. Sing it, sister. Sing it. I love it. Because it is about making a movement, starting a movement, getting any real brand building is about creating your own movement. What do you stand for? What do you stand against? And then attracting the people to you who are like minded and repelling the people who think that you're mad and don't resonate with your message at all. Hooray! We want to repel those. We don't need them in our space, taking up our places. And just, yeah, we don't want to be talking to people who aren't aligned with our message. Let them self select. It's fabulous. That's why we say it's magnetic. Magnets attract and repel. It's a natural filtering system. By being you, by being authentically you, by being vulnerable, by being willing to share those little pieces of your life, your story, your journey, by not showing up as the perfect, I've got it all sorted out, but rather say, I've sorted out a few things. I used to think this, and now I know that. By the way, that's a wonderful frame. Just take that one sentence and apply it to yourself and come up with 3 or 4 different lines, different story hooks. I used to think this. What's this for you? And now I know, right? And that's an opening to a story. So if you were wondering, as we were talking, how to do it, there's the answer.
That's a great framework. The transformation story is a powerful one. Our own personal transformation is always a powerful story. So, yeah, there you go. That's your first one to get out there and share. And if you're out there looking for more ways to learn how to build your own magnetic marketing engine and make standing up and speaking out easier, whether it's on social media, on podcasts, on stages, we have an incredible membership. We'd love to tell you more about it. Join our free webinar. We host them every month. They're always on personal branding and they're always on these topics we share on this channel. So please come along. We'd love to see you there and share a little bit more. And hey, come along, connect with us a little bit. Tell us a bit about your story and we'll share a bit about ours. So hope to see you there. Thanks, partner. Another amazing conversation as always. I'll see you really soon.
High five.